Hello, my name is Chris Burrows, and I thought it's time I talk to you about what I've been doing for this Mars Home Challenge. Um, Let me walk you through the research I did first and the models I'm trying to work with and what I'm doing. I'm trying to enter the VR rendering portion of this. Okay, so let's start first with what I did. Well, they first said, well, you could, you're supposed to envision what Mars would be like after a million people have colonized it. And so I'm like, okay, well, I gotta first figure out what's some people the on Earth, what's a city with a million people look like. And surprisingly, so what I did first is I went to Wikipedia or went online, and let's see if I can find. Okay, yep, there it is. Okay, and so here's where we go. And I looked down and I said, okay, well, San Jose, that happens to be right, no, that's San Diego, San Jose, right around a million people. And so then I went to Wikipedia and found some pictures of what San Jose looked like. I went to the map, Google Maps, kind of saw how big that space was, and got an idea of, okay, well, so what's it look like for a million people? Well, I really liked this building area, this design. And I said, okay, well, it's got the dome there, which you kind of expect to see on, Mars. It's got this huge skyscraper type building. And I said, okay, well, I go into SketchUp and see if I can um, design for myself something that looks kind of like that. Okay, so there you go. The dome building, and then the skyscraper type. And I thought, well, it's got no personality really. I like this dome one. The skyscraper I didn't quite like. And then I said, okay, well, they also said that we can utilize um, stuff that someone else has made. And so they had this list of contests, people who entered the contest. And I said, okay, well, I go to some of these things and see what they look like and see if I can use some of this stuff maybe in my design. But the first few ones I clicked on were kind of abstract. There wasn't really much to see. Well, some of the things that he did were all like meshes that look kind of let's see, maybe like this one, I think, or like meshes that looked kind of weird. Not to be rude or anything, but it's like I'm not sure where you live in that. How do you? What is that? And it's cool, but I'm like, it's not. It's practical for what I need. And I said, there's got to be something that looks decent. And finally, I went down, and he came to this one, this Athena, a city on Mars, interior. I thought, okay, well, that's cool. Let's see what that is. And so I went to that one, and I thought, okay, well, it's still not very clear. It wasn't until a couple days later that I realized, hey, you know what, you can click on that picture, and it takes you to other ones that are a bit more, things. I could download it too. But I thought, oh, this is kind of cool. It's kind of a pod-like structures that were there, and I said, okay, that's the concept I'm going to go with. I downloaded a couple cars and stuff, and they didn't have textures and it looked kind of odd. It didn't quite work for me, and so I finally said, okay, it happens to be a SketchUp model. So I went into this SketchUp model here that I downloaded from the site, and I thought, okay, well, this is cool. It's not a bad design. Stuff back here, I'm like, well, I'm not sure I can use that, but this stuff up here is cool. I can see this is like a bridge to another pod session. I can see maybe this is as containers for saving water. And then I liked these little housing areas because they had each had their own little garden. And I thought, well, that's very smart. People on Mars would probably have their own garden space. And I said, okay, well, what I'm going to need then is I'm going to need to recreate one of these pods, and then I can populate it with my own characters and furniture and stuff and things. And I'll probably have to go and somehow hide what's inside this other pod so it doesn't look like they're all empty. So that's what I did. I took this export to Maya. I chopped off one pod, and then I actually went and remodeled the pod myself. Okay, then I took that whole thing into iClone, which is a software I've been using lately. And this is my iClone pod that I first built. Okay, and it's like, okay, well, it's there, but it's going to be some more things I'm going to add to it. So I'm going to probably want to do like an airlock of some kind, because I have to be able to, you know, come from breathing to unbreathing. And so at the same time, I was like, okay, well, I got to start with that at least. And then I said, okay, well, I need to do more research. And so I went on back to online again, and I said, okay, well, what are the people on, you know, and at first what I did is I started downloading a whole bunch of concept art of Mars, and you know, the movie The Martian and a few other things were there. And I was like, okay, well, this is kind of cool. Concept art to see, you know, what other people have done, you know, what would it be like, you know, they're saying how the trip takes, you know, forever, like, well, not forever, like 9 months to a year, that you might, like this showing, sleep in, have half the crew that would stay asleep for like a week, and the other half awake for a week, so you wouldn't have to be awake the entire time, and you wouldn't also be, you know, body wouldn't go too bad for sleep too long. Anyway, so there's a whole bunch of just different, you know, concept art that was good. Just started giving me some ideas. Like, man, I can never design stuff like that in the time that I have. But then I said, okay, so we got this concept art. We got the one building there. Let me start to see what I can do. And it's okay. I'm going to go to what used to be called Google 3D Warehouse. I think it's now called Trumbull 3D Warehouse, and it's a place where you can download free assets of stuff. And so I said, why don't I go there and see whatever they had that was dealing with life on Mars or something along those lines. Okay, and so I went to their site, the Trumbull Warehouse, the 3D Warehouse, and I said, okay, well, there's a whole bunch of stuff here. I got myself some space shuttles and some other things I was able to do. But I really came across this one rover that I thought was, well, that's a cool vehicle. That could really work well as well. And so I downloaded it as well. And then I was able to pull the wheels off of it and pull it into iClone as well. And then so it took a little bit of work getting the wheels off because the wheels were attached weird. But anyway, and I textured it myself, so it had a little bit more, you know, a little better texture, you know, than just a plain yellow. If you want to see the SketchUp one, it was kind of non-textured. I mean, it's textured, but it's, you know, not good enough for what we're going to need probably. And so I tried to take it back in, and okay, so I textured it, and I said I pulled the wheels off so I could put the wheels on their own physics engine or motor or whatever, and get us that they would actually drive. And then I pulled it into Unity. I basically spent an hour watching a video on how to make your own vehicle, and finally said, well, this is taking way too long. It's not going to work properly. So basically, I just took the Unity vehicle and give you an idea. In Unity, they give you a vehicle that looks kind of like this one, got different wheels. And that vehicle, when you hit the controls on your keyboard, it automatically drives and says, okay, I will take my rover and replace attach its wheels to the Unity wheels. I will hide the Unity frame and put my frame there. And so I was able to then just hit play and drive, and my vehicle was driving around fine. And I said, okay, I'm making some progress here. Took that stuff into Unity and started to render it, and then my computer crashed. I realized that I'd been downloading stuff, and I had very little hard drive space that's left. I had a terabyte drive, but only about 6 gigs of hard drive was left. And so then I was like, okay, well, what am I going to do now? And so basically, here's the hard drive that when I used up all the drive, and the computer would no longer boot, basically, is what ended up happening. And so I said, okay, I got to go get a bigger hard drive. So I took the hard drive. Actually, I have a port that I can just plug this in and out of. Took the hard drive in and said, okay, I need to copy this to a bigger hard drive so I can get up and running again with my computer. Meanwhile, I stuck a Windows 7 hard drive in the computer so I could get started with that. But I hadn't done my software on it, so I go back and download all the software. Download iClone, download Maya, download Unity, download SketchUp, Audacity, all the programs I was even using my Premiere Pro. And so they took it in, they started to copy it, and then they kept saying it kept failing or kept stop copying. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have a whole week's worth of stuff lost almost now. So they ended up taking a week and 4 days almost to copy it. Finally, so they couldn't. They refunded my money as far as the copying part. I started to buy the new drive, and then they gave me the name of the person I could probably take it to. So I took it in to this other guy. He was able to clone it over, but then again had the same issue where the program files wouldn't work. So he said he has to reinstall Windows 10, which means I lose my program connection, and I have to download the programs all over again. And I said, well, you know what? I just finished enough of that on putting most of it onto Windows 7. So why don't I just try to do the program from Windows 7? I'll have this drive as a backup. I can get access to it using a portable drive thing, so I can pull off those files I had on there and just pull them into Windows 7 and start to work on it there. So a week was pretty much gone, but during that week, I said, okay, that gives me time now that I can actually write the script for my story. So this is the, where is it? There you go. Yep, so here's the script concept that I came up with. And I'm not going to stay in that too long. But the idea is that it's okay. I'm going to have it where it's from the point of view of the student that is living on Mars. Okay, and basically it's these two kids. One is Ethan, and one is Sydney. Now I picked Ethan, or they call him Nathan, because Unity had a character called Ethan in it that looked a lot like a character I would need. He had like a spacesuit on, and he had kind of personality and could actually work well for what I was trying to do. And okay, and so I then said, okay, well, they'll still be in school. They'll go over to each other's house. They'll experience, what it's like to make food and stuff and things. And then I came up with the brilliant idea. Okay, in my society, my Martian society, right now everything is going with 3D, these VR glasses and AR glasses. Something I'm very interested in myself. And let me see if I can pull up where's Ethan? Okay, yeah. So here's what the Nathan character looks like. He's got these VR glasses and he's got this suit. He's got this belt around him. I gave him the hand things. Those are actually Vive hand controllers. Okay. I went into Vive, found their controller. I said, this looks so much like that Dyson. Dyson makes a, I'm not sure if you've ever seen the Dyson. They make a fan that has no blades inside there, and it's got a pretty big kick. And I said, what if they were able to put the fan in there and somehow have a leveling system that would allow him to fly? They could use a personal flyer. Part of the research they did on Mars, we're about a third of what you weigh here on the planet. I'm about 220, 210. I'd only weigh about 70 pounds on Mars. That something with a lift like this could definitely fly you. I'd gone through and I'd watched a whole bunch of videos on flying. Actually, here they are here. Let me show you some of these. This is one of the biggest flying ones. Okay. Flyboard Air. Just kind of speak to this, but you can kind of see how easily he maneuvers around. And then they had other flying jetpack ones. That's kind of the old-fashioned way, but it's similar style controls. And then they had some of these newer ones where this bike is actually based on bike is based off of quadcopter technology. Of course, they should put some protection on those things. But anyway, and I said, okay, well, that's another thing that vehicles could do the same thing. Okay, so back to my my Ethan guy that I was talking about. I said, okay, that's going to be my design. This is going to be the look of my characters. They're going to have suits like this. I said, okay, they're going to be able to have portable flying devices that will attach with belts. And they'll be wearing these AR glasses, because I really feel that they are the wave of the future. That basically you'll be able to put these glasses on, your whole world will be augmented, so you can see information, you can talk to somebody on the phone, you can have this virtual world in front of you. And so right now, I have a pair of something similar, and they're huge, but the lens inside is not, it's not that big, but the device itself is huge. But I've been studying, or for the longest time, almost a year now, the development of these. Magic Leap is just coming out with theirs, but there's a guy, ODG, the smart glasses, that do the same thing as the bigger ones, but they're so much smaller. Okay, and the whole idea is that your world is augmented in front of you. They track the environment, so stuff gets pasted where you want it. They can give you feedback. You can talk to people through them, watch movies, all the same kind of stuff you do with the Vive headset. But they're in the glasses about this size. These are not the ODG ones. I can't afford those. Right now, they're still close to $2,000 something. But I said, this wouldn't be too hard if somebody was to wear glasses kind of like this, and this would be everyday living. And then every time you want to do something, your car wouldn't need to have a steering wheel there. You'd be able to have the augmented steering wheel in front of you, and you can control it. It would track your hands and stuff. You can actually do things, and pretty much talk to people through it. They show up like Facebooking and stuff. Anyway, so that became the thing. Is that the society is going to be working off these glasses. They're going to have the artificial intelligence built into them. I said, okay, right now I have an Alexa, and people use Alexa all the time to get information. But I also about the movie how once the artificial intelligence gets so smart, like it was 2001 where it was that the computer HAL that was in charge of the ship eventually locked the main guy out and he ends up dying, I guess, or something, and that we worry about artificial intelligence getting beyond where people can control it, and already they have it where it's teaching itself. In today's society, and it's beating chess masters and this kind of stuff. So I said, okay, there's got to be some way to rein in that for the artificial intelligence. I said, okay, well, cool. What we'll do is they'll use a little bit of gray matter, some actual brain tissue from somebody who just recently died, and they'll put this gray matter. They'll run the artificial intelligence through that, so that the gray matter actually is controlling the artificial intelligence. And basically, what it'll do is it'll give that artificial intelligence a little bit of its own personality. It'll give it some morals, but they say that the person who died, it won't be a real whole brain. It was just a small piece of gray matter. So they're saying it won't hold memories of that person, but basically it'll be creating a new person. We'll call maybe a digital AI person. And so in our world, this AI that everybody works with is called Darby, for digitally augmented responsive bio interface. And so the Darby system, everybody talks about like Alexa, and it controls stuff, opens doors, and does all this kind of stuff for them. And so as the story goes, that's what's happening. So anyway, so we then got to the point now where so I was able to have my Nathan character going around and flying, and then I was able to kind of, advance that a little bit more. So, let me show you this full screen just so you can see it a little closer. There you go. So he could fly with him, take off, and land. And what I really, part of the reason I really wanted to get into that is I had gone onto Unity and gone to a site called Fuse VR, and the guy was talking about how to fly like Superman in your game. And so in the Unity thing, you just click a button and you can aim your controls around and you can fly through your scene. And I thought, oh, it's gonna be such a cool way to get around in my VR experience, to be flying through stuff. And you can, because walking was taking forever, but I'm like, well, that's one way of doing things. Okay, so back to where we were. So I got this, and then I said, okay, well, I can do the same technology for the car. Okay, so I took the Unity vehicle, and I'm not sure if you saw it there, but I decided, okay, well, you would have, you could use the same wheels, just take out the hubcaps on these wheels, put that Dyson Flyers kind of blade in there, and then if they were to turn down, it would be able to fly up. I said, okay, well then we'll just have the car have its own lift. So these rods come down, lift the car up, wheels turn down, and then it can fly. And so, and then I had to move the fenders too. So okay, so there you go. So that's the car. And I said, okay, well, why don't you go ahead and do it a little more texture. And so I did that, and then had the augmented kind of design going inside there as well. Okay, so that was all early stuff. Meanwhile, my computer is still in the shop, so I'm just kind of getting these small things done on a small computer or a different computer. And then I lost flying ability. Somehow I went ahead and upgraded from Unity 5 to 17, and then 17 to 18, and then somehow I lost the ability to fly. And I said, oh man, so it took me a while to try to get that back because the scripting was different. And so this guy's script would no longer work. I just got that back like 2 days ago or a day ago, so I'm really cool that's back now. But anyway, in the process, I said, okay, well, there's some other stuff that I can be building and making. So I said, okay, I can work on getting this. Let me show you this desktop here. There you go. Okay, so what I can work on now then is, okay, I'm going to go through and show you all the stuff that I building or doing. If I can get the computer to move. Okay, here we go. So, started out with the Ethan character, who I call Nathan in my thing. I'm going to take his Unity logo off so that we won't get into any issues with that. And I know that you guys also are kind of promoting the U4. I don't know the other engine as well. I'm going to try to put some stuff in there. So I do have Nathan, but I have my own character that I had built a while ago. Using iClone and Crazy Talk, you're able to actually take pictures of people you know and import their images and create a head from that and then put it onto a body. And so I did that. I said, I figured out how to get Nathan's clothes off so I'll be able to use them on other characters. And so I took him into Maya. First off, got his glasses off, and then was able to put video inside the glasses so the player will be able to see what that's like. Then I was able to get the other clothing. He doesn't have a body underneath those, though, so I had to figure out how to detach them and then name them separately. And then I started to work on applying them to my own character, and I've got some weight map issues, but it's a start, over here to see this. Okay, and so then my society, I said, okay, those helmets and stuff, that's also going to be a big pain wearing those things. And so the neck collar will use oxygen, but what they're going to do is on their shoulder pads, they're going to have these electronic devices that basically creates a huge static electrical barrier around them over their head, basically making it airtight. And we're going to call that ozone because basically it's going to block out the harmful rays from the sun and stop dirt and stuff from hitting them. So basically they'll have a helmet that is created with the static electricity, these ozone devices, and then the mask will provide the oxygen for them that they'll need. Since the air is too nitrogen rich, I guess, on Mars. Okay, so that was that. But then also I was like, okay, hold on just 1 second. Going back to a little bit of the research about Mars, I said, okay, I gotta follow the science, make sure I can do everything right. So I went to the NASA site. So I went to the NASA site, but I also said, inside the HTC Vive, they had this really cool Mars experience. It's one of the free things that comes with the with it.
And yeah, if I can go anywhere.
Is the where you get a chance to actually be on Mars and click your little HTC Vive controller and teleport from place to place and read about stuff. And I thought, okay, well, this is so cool. And looking around, you're like, man, I could build something there. I could make this world the way I want it to be. It's just so you can kind of get a feel for what it's like there. Let me put that up so you can see that on its own. There you go. So they have a rover there, and as you move around in the society, you're able to look around and turn your head and stuff. I said, yeah, you could see what that is manable. Just like the movie The Martian. I remember The Martian also he was growing potatoes and stuff and things. And so I said, okay, in my game, they're going to have their own little farms and stuff and be able to grow things as well. And they'll have these ozone creators that they'll be able to utilize in their stuff. Okay, so that was more research. I remember also before I had the Vive, I had Samsung Gear. And I remember watching the experience where the people were living in a Mars habitat. They spent a year actually inside this building out in the desert or whatever it was, and they took 360 experience of that, and that experience still is going on. And so here's another video from that, and this is actually shot in 360, so you're able to look around and see. Okay, and put it up bigger so you can see that too. Yeah, so you can go in there and experience what it's like to have to live in a suit like that. And they actually had people inside the dome talking about what it was like to live in that dome and kind of just spending a day with them actually. Yeah, okay.
Here in the garden at the habitat, you're sitting inside one of the planter boxes. Here on Mars, fresh food is a luxury. Amongst the canned items, we have plenty of it. Creamy potato cheddar soup. You guessed it. Powder. White chicken in a can. Cubes with powder. The dried huevos. That's right. Powder. The marshmallows. What? That's basically what we got here to eat here on Mars.
Okay. Okay, and I'm looking at the size of this place, and actually, this video I'm just seeing for the first time today. But the idea here though is that I guess there's some spin when. Okay, when it's not playing, but okay, that's pretty close to what my pod's gonna look like. So, this is what I did. Going back over to my pod now. So, Go to desktop so you can see this. Okay, so here's the pod space that we had. And that one camera doesn't work too well. But my idea is that, okay, this is what it's going to be like. They're going to have a kitchen space. That looks lousy over here. Okay, anyway. Okay, they're going to have a airlock at the front, big video screen on the back there. So when you come in, you can actually take your Derby glasses off, and you'll be able to see the screen and do basically what Derby does using the screen. Kitchen space over here, bedding area over there, and then there's gonna be like a bathroom lavatory space. I'm like, people always wonder, what's like, how do you go to the bathroom there? One of these guys mentioned how they're only able to shower like once every 2 weeks or once a week because the water supply is limited. I thought, well, that's kind of cool. And you wouldn't want a bathroom taking up a whole lot of space. You want something that's retractable. And so I just said, okay, I'm going to design it so that back in the corner there, in this far corner back there, we will have this little area. And right now, this one wall is not coming down, but that wall will be down. You come into here, and the way this works is, I'm trying to show it to you. Okay, this area back here is a clean clothes area. You can put your dirty clothes in there, and then it'll steam them and clean them, and then it'll come out in a drawer that's here. Let me see if I can show you how any of this stuff actually working. Come on. Okay, well, anyway, but the idea here for this one, I don't want to take too long with this, but is that, okay, you can either take a sonic shower, which will be these little holes on the side that will shoot sound waves at you just to knock general dirt off, or you can take a regular shower, and there will actually be a timer that will come on. And what happens is this top piece slides out. Everything's kind of buggy right now. Too many programs open at the same time. These side ones are built into the floor, but they will come up. Hang on, everything is just too much dragging. Come on. There you go. So these side ones come up, and so basically you come out, and you're enclosed in this little area. And if you choose to take a liquid shower, you'll have a timer, but it's like a mirror on the side there, so you just see yourself when you're done, when you're dressing and stuff and things. This is basically your only privacy area in there, because there's just one open room. You'll have your over here on this side, there's a screen that comes down, and like I said, right now nothing wants to work properly. But come on, this comes down. Okay, that'll be a spitting area for brushing your teeth. You'll have yourself a little water pick that's built into the wall there. There you go. Little spitting area. You'll have your own little mirror. There'll be a water pick here that you can use for cleaning your teeth out with. And this front wall, the toilet is in the floor there. Toilet. The bowl as well. So the toilet actually comes up out of the floor. Oops, sorry, it's built into the drain. So that comes up, and then this top part of it is a lid. And I wish I had the animation for this ready to go. Sorry it takes so long with this. But the top part comes up. Oops, hang on. You know, it's a little clunky right now. It's not animating the way it's supposed to. Change. Oops. No. But anyway, you get the idea. It flips up, so you can use it as a toilet. Okay. Or it flips down and it stays as a drain. And then the front screen that comes up, this has a video monitor in it. So this can, so that goes up. So you can communicate with Darby, so you can still watch the news, have a clock there, you know, letting you know. So kind of see, you can actually have an intercom to the outside while you're in there as well. Okay, so that was the bathroom space. So that will conserve space inside there. Okay, and then I realized I still needed to do better texturing stuff on that on that HUD. So I came over to here and model. Oh, that's something we need. We need you're going to need plants, and so I did research a little bit about hydroponics and built these little plants to put in the up in the plant area. And then I had the video from the videos and stuff. I noticed that their Martian habitats currently look something like this. So I built some of those for the older style habitats. Those will actually be shopping centers when I get done with mine. For their schooling. Okay, so for the schooling, I said, okay, well, this is going to be, you're going to want to be outside as much as possible, even though the weather on Mars is not habitable. So I said, the school's been called Mars School for Minors. Since one Mars year is 2 Earth years, the whole schooling system is going to be different. Basically, you'll do 2 Mars years, which is equivalent to 4 years of elementary. You'll do 2 Mars years of basically high school, and then you have 1 year of like an internship before you go off and work in the field. And basically, their training will be to get you to basically their training will be to teach you things that you can that you need to survive on Mars and to be productive in the Martian society. Okay, and so I said, okay, well, if everything's augmented VR, they should be able to like meet outdoors. We'll have these little generators around to create that static shield that's over the place that will allow it to be protected, so then they can have real grass and real trees there. Each of these little green areas, I'm sure you can see those. Okay, so yeah, so these are the generators that will be around, creating the ozone layer. Each of these little pod areas will be a classroom. There'll be 6 people sitting around a tree. They'll have 1 live proctor, somebody that's a living human being there. But then most of their teachers will be real scientists and people that are out in the field doing the work that they're learning how to do. They'll appear in front of them as a hologram teaching the lesson. Since everybody's wearing visors, they can see these people, they can take their tests, they can have tablets they use with their hands for their classes. School can be a whole different situation. Basically that one instructor, since he's a hologram, he could appear at each of these different locations, so different classes can be all working on, with the same instructor, and then each of these little spots would have their own live proctor that would be there just to kind of monitor things. Okay, and so that is one of the things that I was able to start to do so far. So let me introduce you to my first scene, my intro scene. So you get a chance to see the...
Okay, students, time is up. As soon as Bob submits, we're set to go. Sorry, Dr. Pinnell. One more second. And okay, done. Thank you, Robert. Mr. Regis, Section 43 has submitted. Thank you for your lesson. Class, visors are off lock. Please check your answers and don't forget to tap out before you leave for the weekend. Have a good one. Oh man, I knew the nitrogen ratio was off, but how? What'd you get? 98. And you're complaining? Why? What'd you get? Well, let's just say it wasn't 98. So, you ready to go? Yep, didn't have much to pack. I really appreciate you guys taking me in ever since. Don't mention it. Okay, so that was my Mars intro. And kind of give you an idea of what the area was looking like. Okay, and so I'm going to go through now and show you. So they have the Mars School for Miners, which is one location. Each quarter of a year, they switch subjects. So they'll study like earth science at one time, then they'll study communication stuff like in English, then they'll study life science, and so the quarters they change. It's basically a quarter is like half a year here on Earth. Okay, but now, so I started saying, okay, look down the school. So here's what the locations are looking like so far. Trying to get a lip sync here. Not sure what don't get sound. So you got the Mars School for Miners. Okay, that's what you have there. This is their living quarters out that way. This is where the mom is working. She's looking for minerals. Speaking of which, we were talking about flying stuff earlier. Here, let me just play this out first. Okay, so there's the model I'll probably up using for mom since she's got the mohawk kind of like he does. Yeah, so here's my pod. Well, this is one version of it. It's changed now. You can kind of see how things are coming along there. Okay, so and then I said, okay, well, they're going to have the school. They should probably have a recreational area off to the side of it. And I also decided that, well, probably one of the big things on Mars is going to be that they'll play, people sports. So what will they do for entertainment? Well, most likely television will probably be a lot of old pre-recorded stuff from, they'll probably, you got 100 years of TV on Earth so far that they probably, or YouTube that they could, watch old videos from as far as their main stations. Probably most of their TV will be news as far as live stuff from Mars. Maybe a little bit of entertainment. And then there's going to be probably some kind of recreation. And I thought, well, the basketball and stuff, not as, probably not as likely because of the gravity issue. Bouncing might be an issue. I'm not sure how that works. Anyway, I thought, well, hey, cool. We'll play frisbee. I remember frisbee football. There's a lot of kind of cool, spectacular things. I thought, if I can figure out how to get this to work, I'll have the player, person playing the game, will be able to throw a frisbee and have the avatar catch it and then throw it back and forth between them and the avatar, and be able to play in this frisbee football game himself. And I thought, okay, at the school rec area, we'll probably have a little frisbee practicing place, but then we'll probably do other things. And one of the cool things in iClone is they have a bike riding thing. I thought, well, kind of cool that the person could ride a bike, and probably one of the controls that it would have. And actually, I'll go and start playing it while I'm talking about it here. So here's their rec area back there. You got the person practicing frisbee. You got the bike going around. There's a swimming area here, and then they also have a area where there's water. This will be for research. All this water is recycled water, by the way, and it's freshly recycled, and it runs through here. Then they recycle it one more time before they send it out to the society. But so this is the recycling plant back there. That model is not my own model. The other stuff, for the most part, I built or utilized from iClone. But this model back there, I went ahead and purchased that one. That is from a wonderful designer. The guy is barking dog. Let me pause this a minute here. This one. I'll put this one up so you can see it. Okay, yeah. The design is called Barking Dog, and he designed this sci-fi collection, and so I went ahead and purchased it. You know, it was reasonable priced, and I thought, well, it'll give a little bit more flair to some of the buildings and things, and give the player more things to go look through as well. And so I said, okay, I can definitely utilize this, and I can use some of those same textures on my models so they look like they're from the same universe. Okay, so back to that's so in my Martian game. Okay, notice how there are two rings. You got two blue rings and there's two red rings, I guess. One's lower, one's higher. They will have a goalie. You don't always have goalies in frisbee football, but and on Mars, since you weigh less, you can jump further. You know, if you guys anybody saw the what was it called? It was a Disney movie. Guy went to Mars. Anyway, he was able to jump, you know, like a superhero. Anyway, so you'll be able to do that, but you'll also have these little towers that you can stand on or jump on, and then have like a trampoline to give you more of a lift. The way the game is played, once you have the frisbee, you can't move, but other than that, you can move. You toss it to your friend, you try to get it down and score goals and stuff basically with it. And so I started playing around with that animation and see if I can get a frisbee to actually to work. When you play it inside VR, you'll throw it and then real physics will take over it. Right now I have these following a path, obviously. But the cool thing is that you'll be able to play it. Okay, and so I built all this stuff, mostly in SketchUp and kind of fine-tune it. Then I had to figure out how to transfer it over to Unity. Okay, so here is my first attempt at doing a recording with Unity. Okay, so here we are, and it's the guy out there practicing his frisbee. It will use the controllers to fly, like I was saying about before. You go down and start putting some fish and things in the water. We'll definitely pop out more of those. We've got to do better textures and all. This is just kind of a rough thing. You'll be able to like put a control on the door, go through the doorway, and look around. They'll change some of these pictures out and stuff to make more sense for the water control thing. But the player will be able to interact with the controls that are there. And player probably won't be able to fly through walls, but I can, since I'm not done developing yet. And go around and let's see what's happening here. My motion capture for this guy didn't quite, the suit was on quite right, so his arm kind of moves around weird. Right now I've got to work on revising all that stuff. But okay, so there you are. Okay. And let's go and stop that. And let's come back to the... So here I am again. Okay, so that was all of that. And then I guess the last video to show you for right now, I guess, is Pod Life. And so this was after I started adding his buildings to my set, I went ahead and realized, okay, I had to make living, make it look like the people were living inside these other sections. And so I went and took a picture of my pod, took it into Photoshop, changed the background video, and put little videos of people standing in front of some of these locations. Did that 35 times and then placed little still images inside each of these. I eventually want to have probably moving video inside each of those, so it looks like somebody's actually living inside each of those. But then, to this, you can actually see now as we fly over his shoulder and go into the environment. So we'll use some of his beds and things. This one doesn't have the bathroom in there. I got to put the bathroom in. But you do get a chance to go up and see the area there. You are also able to go through and explore his building. Okay, which I'll show you that my take and how far I've come with that. So you can see the pod, how it's working. Oh, this, by the way, is an elevator that goes up and down. Because they'll park the rover on top, or they go up, ramp will go across, so we'll drive down. Let me go and show you all the video of this so far. Okay, and so let's go full screen with it now. Okay, so this that you're looking at is the construction. They do have a attached on top the area there. So this guy allows you to fly off world. Too, like I said, there's a off planet. There's a satellite that circulates where they'll play the national games of the frisbee football. Okay, might want to speed through this because. Okay, but yeah, there you go. Okay, so now he's able to fly. Computer was running a bit buggy because I got so much stuff in it now, and once I put the other buildings in, I'm not sure how it's going to function. But at least it's still going. Okay, and no turn sound up on this. Airlock first. They're talking to the artificial intelligence, Darby, which stands for digitally augmented responsive bio interface. It's a artificial intelligence that actually has a little bit of human gray matter from a recently deceased person interface with it, so that it will have a little bit of moral and can make some decisions that many computers couldn't make on their own. Also will have a bit of a personality. Notice how Nathan I should say, is wearing these glasses. Almost everybody will have glasses like that, so the whole world will be augmented. And actually they'll talk to them and have phones. There's an extra bed, pull down bed up there. There's a bathroom space, and actually this will contract into the floor. There's another wall comes up. This is a cleaning unit back here. So you'll be actually able to take a shower and clean their clothes and work in there. We go up here. In the garden space, they'll be having potatoes and carrots and other things that they'll be able to pick from the garden, make a stew, using some freeze-dried chicken in the stew. So they'll be heading down to the kitchen and they'll be putting together the food that they have to make a stew. I've got that right. So a little different one here, so I don't get caught from my cables. Okay, but let's head on out. Those clothes are going to be moving into the other area in a minute here, but let's get kind of an idea of where they are. Okay, so we head out and back up and we see our two guys ready to come in. And here they are. Okay, let's go past them. And look at over the edge. Okay, let's go by. We can kind of look into a couple of these things as we go. Computer's kind of bogged down quite a bit now. I need a faster video card.
I don't know if we'll be able to get one before entrances.
Okay, I'm gonna kind of augment this some. I don't want to show you the whole video. I want to see the whole thing. It is on YouTube, so you can watch the rest of it. Okay, but anyway, basically he goes through here, give you a chance to go up to the actual building, go inside, see some of these rooms. It's kind of cool. You can actually look off the edge and look out the window and see our construction down there. Okay, like I said, those buildings will be shops, auto repair place. It's going to be a holistic healing place and some other things over there. Here, just went through the window. We're heading out now to the farm. They will have chickens and goats. Chickens for the eggs mostly, and goats for milking. You got the rover. Since you wear those augmented glasses, you'll be able to create what the inside of the rover looks like. So you can have it like a real car. Okay, here we are now inside the farm habitat. There's a wheelchair because the guy that operates the farm actually has a handicap disability, and he will actually have some assistance. There will be a few chimpanzees that will assist him, since we do know that chimps have been to space before and can do well. I'm going to have them help with the farm, collect eggs and help with milk and goats and things of that sort. Got to change the animation on those guys there. So, okay, so that's how that's coming so far. And then the last thing that I just worked on today actually is trying to get that car interface to look the way I want it to. So here is so far the video concerning the car. Basically, I'll have it where you get into the regular rover, then you can generate how it looks around you. So right now you're seeing from the outside, but then you step inside the bubble.
Mars somewhat out that way.
And this bubble is attached to a working car, so you can get in. And okay, and one of the cool things with this is that you're going to
Those ideas that
look
you
out the
have
back
the
window. And right now the controls on the Vive, the touchpad, the right touchpad, allows you to go forward, back, and turn. So you'll be able to see the cars that doing that. Or probably in the real world, they'd be able to stick their hands out and it's going to track their hands, so they'll just touch controls. Like I said, none of those controls will actually be there. Everything will be virtual, augmented. You can talk to Darby and have him give you directions. So we have a heads-up display that will show up on there as well. Yeah, I really don't enjoy this car too much though. It's a little off. So I think if I had a steering wheel and a brake and stuff, it would be a bit easier to something to actually control. Trying to control that little hand thing is hard. Anyway, so that's the car. Let's see this is it. Okay, you drives around the buildings. Flashing stuff a little bit. Oh, and what I showed here too is that I still have the script on there for flying, so after you can actually leave the car and click the trigger and actually fly out. It's kind of cool. I don't know, maybe not. I also do have up in the sky 2 moons, Phobos and Deimos, but I think I keep getting to turn gravity off, so when I just hit play, I believe they fall out of the sky. But next time I get an update, we will see that as well.
Car actually had little
Okay. And so there are the cars on top, and show how the elevator system would work and what not. This is the big rave in China, I guess, right now. They say that basically the car uses metal that's detected in the ground to create a magnetic lift from it. Now, I'm guessing they would have had to place real metal down. I don't think it's going to just find so easily the metal that's in the ground to create the lift that it does. And most likely this whole video has just been CGI for this. But it seems to be the way things are going. And with all the minerals that are in the Mars surface, I could easily see this working well for. Okay, so the last thing for me to show you today is a couple of pieces of technology that I'll be using for this project. One is the Perception Neuron Motion Capture Suit. I actually have to have one of those right here, and so I'm going to be trying to use my my suit in order to capture the motions for my characters that are living inside the Martian habitat. And so that's the next thing I got to do. I got the script finished. I'm going to be working on trying to get those mouths put onto my characters, and my characters acted out. So hopefully my goal is by the end of today. Today's actually a different day from when I started recording this, but by the end of today, I should be able to have a rough rundown of the entire scene. It's going to be like about 5 minutes, 10 minutes by the time I'll get done with it, I guess. Of the characters acting in the story that starts out, and then you as a player will be able to jump in and out of the Sydney character. Sometimes seeing him walk around, sometimes doing motions yourself and controlling things and interacting, helping to make food and go to the store and buy things and go to the bathroom and be in the shower and stuff like that. All those kind of things. And then I also happen to have a Z Mini device. This is a depth camera. Hold that, we can actually see the words. This is a depth camera. What this is going to allow me to do is place it on front of the Vive, and I'll be able to do augmented reality with it. So I plan to have at least one of the characters show up in the real world and be able to work with them. Possibly play the Frisbee football in real space, which is going to be kind of cool. Once this gets done, I'll probably get that done before the contest. But this also allow me to shoot green screen and have the live actor be embedded inside my Unity environment. And the idea is that the actor who's playing Sydney, at one point you will see that live actor being projected as a hologram inside the Unity environment. He's looking over the shoulder of the other character and kind of talking to him. And this Z will help me to do a depth merge, which is kind of cool. You can actually track motion with it, and so I'll be able to move the Z camera around, and the Unity environment will follow, and I'll be able to light the scene, hopefully, inside Unity, and that will fall on the real character too. So I got a lot to do. 1 week, pretty much the end of this week, I need to be done with the basics of it, so that by next week I can just spend the whole time on perfecting the renders and getting it to look the way I want it to. I decided I'm going to try to use the Otoy renderer, Octane, see how that works. If not, I'm going to be using the advanced Unity rendering. Hopefully I can get that to start to work too. So it's a whole lot to do. Basically, I got to finish animation today, hopefully. That's the plan. You know, I got audio finished first, editing that first for it, then the animation for that, getting that done. Then early next week, getting the interaction with objects finished, worked on, then finishing off texturing, and then getting renders down, and then having this all work so it can play, and then putting enough of it into the ULEAD engine, the other U4 engine, to see how that looks and renders, just so I can have that as in case it is a requirement that I have to have that too. Hopefully I can export this, all this as an FBX, pull it into there, render it out, and just get a general look, at least from there. Okay, that's me, Chris Barrows. A lot to do. Thanks for listening. I know it's been a long video, but it's been glad having you, and have a good day.